Hello and welcome back to the Yonaha podcast. My name is Ethan. I'm the founder and creative director of Yonaha. I am wearing one of my newest designs as we speak, and you can check out my designs at yonaha.net. I actually just released the Erased collection. You can read about that on the website. And today I have Smiley Mikey.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me, Ethan.
Of course. So I ran into Mikey at a place where you could do like open mic stuff, and he was just singing some trendy like pop songs and some oldie songs too. And yeah, he was handing out stickers and like I decided I wanted to hit him up, and turns out he makes a lot of music and really cool music videos.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are?
Okay, well, if you want to see the music videos and the music, you could find me Smiley Mikey, Smiley space Mikey. Find me all over the webs. You can find me on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, and for the old people like me,
Oops.
Facebook. And so Smiley Mikey. So I started writing songs some time ago before I even knew how to sing or play an instrument. I didn't let that stop me. I just went into the open mics and taught myself piano and singing, and now I'm learning guitar. But the songwriting is kind of where I'm most interested in music. But like Ethan, like you said, I like doing cover songs too. Just connect with an audience, and so I have a lot of songs that are very old in my repertoire, and then new ones. I like the latest cover song I learned, and I do it on keyboard, is Wet Legs, Wet Dream. Are you familiar with that one?
I might have heard it, but I don't know it by name.
It's all right. It's Wet Leg are a couple of women from the Isle of Wight in Great Britain, but they write songs that are just very British, dry, droll humor. And it's fun for me to take those songs and turn them into a slow piano ballad instead of a fast-paced, up-tempo, happy, crazy guitar song. So I do that. I don't know if you remember Gail. She had the ABCDEFU song that came out. So that was a natural. Again, it's a guitar song like most songs, but I just did it as a ballad on piano. And it's funny seeing a middle-aged guy like me doing a song by a 17-year-old about her shitty ex-boyfriend. But audiences seem to like it. But I do more serious stuff. And the one song that I've even had dive bars of drunken crazy people singing along is, of course, Hey Jude. I did that at Brew a few times, and everybody sings those na-nas. So those are the old songs, the new songs that you alluded to earlier. And then my own songs are the ones I really work hard on. And and during the pandemic, I just stayed home living off of savings, and for like 2 years I did songs and music videos. So I cranked out like 13 of the best ones, and I'm wrapping it up now with 4 final videos that are to promote and be works of art on their own for 4 new songs I'll be dropping starting later this month in November, and then another one in December, another one in January, and another one in February. I write songs different from anybody else just because that's how my mind works. Each of us has our own quirky artistic bent, but I'll tell you real quickly about the song, and you'll be able to find them. Anybody who wants to follow me or just check things out, I'll say if you want to subscribe or like my channel, do it. Definitely like Ethan's channel, please. I have, and he's going to be you're going to be putting up a lot more content, I'm sure, as 2023 develops, right?
Yeah.
So go on, you'll see my songs up to now. 3 or 4 of them have over 100,000 views on YouTube, just because I guess people find something interesting about him. But the new ones, one is going to be called, one is called Nikita, in parentheses, No Sugar Daddy. And it's another twisted love ballad by Smiley Mikey on piano. And the chorus is kind of, you don't need no sugar daddy. He won't even keep you happy. Take a chance on me, Nikita. So you see, it's a very different kind of love ballad, but very apropos of the mindset we have in society now and the economic realities. Then there's a song I'm writing called Rainbow Girl, and I played it at Brew. I've developed it, playing it live at Brew and other places. Rainbow Girl I describe as a song I wrote about having a mad crush on a woman who also has a mad crush. on a woman. So I'm shooting that in Reno next week, the music video, or actually 2 weeks from now. And then there's a very serious song called "Peace with This World," and I'll just let you all find out about it. I shot a music video, the footage in Reno again last week because I moved from Reno to Sonoma County about 3 years ago. I still have all kinds of connections there, and it's a really crazy, quirky town that full of possibilities for shooting music videos just because of the sculptures there, the art, the people. It's just a very interesting crossroads of the world, very different place. So I'll throw that out there to you and other filmmakers. You can't go wrong shooting it. Well, you can go wrong shooting a music video anywhere, but be careful and you'll have a great time in Reno. And so those videos will be up on the Smiley Mikey channel, the Nikita one, Rainbow Girl, Peace with This World. And then the final one I'm doing is a guitar song. I'm only teaching myself guitar now, but I found a really cool riff I wrote. And then it's a post-punk song like the one I alluded to earlier by Wet Leg, just post-punk rock song. I'm older, so I can reference Green Day and Blink 182, and I know that's not cool, but that's the music
I like those
relate
bands.
to. 90s. I love the 90s and I love the 60s, and I'm starting to like the 2020s. It's starting to turn around. When music goes really crappy, all of a sudden it turns up and gets bigger again, and I think indie artists kind of lead the way. But anyway, the last song I'm doing is going to be called Just a Song. It's kind of snarky, as you would guess, and that'll have, again, an awesome music video with it, so at least that'll be entertaining. It'll be up on my Smiley Mikey channel on YouTube. I cut it up into snippets, put it on Instagram, Facebook, and of course TikTok, which is the platform I seem to be getting the most love for. But I'm slowly getting my songs out there and discovered, and I can't thank you enough for giving me some love here and attention, because it's people like you that help unknown indie artists like me move forward, and I return the favor by promoting your site as well.
Yeah.
So that's a mouthful. I'm sorry. That was a 10-minute answer to a 10-second question.
No, that was perfect. And yeah,
Awesome.
I mean, you're probably giving me more of a platform than I'm giving you. I've actually been is the word stagnant? Like, my channel hit 500 around my birthday in July, and we're not at 600 yet, and it's been 3 or 4 months. It's just, I don't know what happened, but every video we pushed out got 20, 30, 40 views, when in June and May and March we were getting like 300, 500, 1,000, 5,000, and YouTube's just been beating me down, and
It's yeah. Don't even try to figure it out, because every platform, Instagram is the same thing. I'll just share one quick thing, and I want to say something about your efforts here. Like, for example, I said TikTok is the best platform for me so far, and it is. And people migrate to my YouTube channel from TikTok. I post something on Instagram, like a piece of a video and song I worked really hard for, and it's had 50,000 views on YouTube. It's gotten, streams around the world. It's just like a song called "Lost in This World, Headed for Mars." It's an animated video, and a very cool song with a great message. And I put it on Instagram, and I get 2, 3, 10, 15 views. Then I post a 4-second view of a hawk that I saw in a park in the East Bay, and I put a snippet of Taylor Swift's song underneath it, and I get 7,600 views. So how can you figure out the algorithm? You're dormant. You've been dormant. You're a filmmaker at Sonoma State. Am I right? Is that it?
I graduated, but I'm working on my own animated film, but I'm also doing all kinds of film content on YouTube, mostly just
Nice.
talking about like film that I like, or reviewing, or doing video essays. I just recently joined a community where people bounce video essay ideas off each other, but I'm really thinking of migrating more into TikTok, because I'll make a random TikTok which is not very like carefully thought out or anything, and wind up with 10,000 views.
It's you never know. You never know
the effort is so much less, because a YouTube video, I'll be doing like 4 or 5 hours of recording, editing, whatnot, and people are like, "Why do you care about the numbers? Don't just do it because you like it." I'm like, I like my videos. I don't like making my videos. It takes a long time. It takes a lot of effort. No one likes to edit videos. but you have to know how to edit videos to make videos. And
It's the truth, of course.
when
I
it's
mean, yeah.
unrewarding, it feels like the myth of Sisyphus. I'm pushing the rock up the hill and it's falling back down to the bottom, and I'm not rewarded for nothing.
Yeah. Well, you're developing your skills, and over time, it could, you don't have a time, you can't determine when the date is when you finally break through to a next plateau, but you're doing absolutely the right thing. The harder you work, the luckier you get, and you eventually will get lucky. And I remind myself of that. Anybody doing art, and any kind of creativity, you have to keep going and never quit. Yeah, you have to do stuff you believe in, but you have to put the work in. And when you get frustrated, keep on soldiering on. And at some point, you will have that breakthrough, and you'll have all the skills that you keep developing as you're doing it. Otherwise people might do it on a lark, like, hey, I'm going to do these YouTube videos, and they get one that just goes crazy, or any kind of viral thing, but then they're done. They've reached their goal of notoriety. Whereas you're doing it in the very real way. You're putting in the work to actually edit, get better all the time, keep coming up with ideas. And then at some point, as long as you never quit, something amazing is going to happen. That's what I've been after. I've had modest success. I'll look at my payments from music libraries that I stick songs into that haven't really gone anywhere. And I'll get paid for those songs. They'll get streamed by music libraries that sell them, license them to dental offices, spas, malls, massage studios, those songs. And I get a little bit of money here and there, like maybe a few $100s a year. But one song connects with the masses, boom, baby, million streams, million views, people calling me, want to collab or license stuff. You stick with it, you get better at it, and then sometime you get there. So put the hard work into edit, put in quality work, and that means you're a professional, not just a dilettante, not just somebody trying to do it for the notoriety and not putting in the hard work. That's my old person's advice, but I hope it resonates with you.
Oh, it does.
I have only, how many subscribers? I have 763 subscribers, and it's been stuck around that for like over a year. But I know these 4 new songs I referenced are going to do something, at least one of them. And if one does it, then all the eyes and ears are going to stuff I did before people ignored. It's a classic thing, and it could be very well the same with you. But you keep posting your content, and I have ideas, creative ideas I'll send to you, or vice versa, about really cool short films or videos that would not be expensive to do, but might be quirky or interesting enough. Something may click, and all of a sudden your subscribers is going to just go way up. You will have more numbers, and I'll give you more confidence and energy moving forward with all your other projects. Just don't ever quit. Keep grinding, and doing good work.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that my first songs, like first films, first pieces of art people do, whatever it is, first acting, stand-up comedy, it might be inspired, but 2 years later, if you keep working every day on it, you're going to look back and go, wow, this could have been so much better. But you have to get the bad stuff out of the way and keep doing it, and then you hit your stride. And that's how it is when I look back at songs I did years ago. I'm going, what was I thinking? Then I go, well, it's a process. You got to go through it and put the bad stuff out, even if it's not totally bad. Just keep grinding, and then you get better and better. And then all of a sudden, people like from Indonesia, Philippines, haven't had much luck in Japan yet, but Brazil, but Indonesia and the Philippines in Asia, and Brazil and Mexico in Latin America, and people send you love on something you never would have expected, like a song I did called "Don't Want to Buy a Gun," a song in a video. The song won like it got in the finalist and won songwriting, one songwriting contest, and it gave me a lot of energy, thinking, yeah, there are people who like it. There's a woman in Brazil who sends me love on Instagram for it. People put nice comments on YouTube, or even hate. Love or hate, it doesn't matter as long as it causes a reaction, and it gives you energy. And then my video for a song called "I Got Water," it's a song written during the pandemic, and it just won, best music video at the California Indie Fest, So those little victories, erase all the grief and all the drudge in your mind and get you propelled forward to keep doing something that'll be big and make a lot of people happy or intrigued or entertained down the road. So these small victories will translate. All of that is to say, keep working and building your channel. Don't be dormant if you can avoid it. And then all of a sudden you wake up one day and you've got this amazing concept. You bring it to fruition, and that's the story of these 4 songs I'm going to be releasing. They're better than anything I've ever done. The videos, all the actors in the videos that I'm filming are stepping up because they like the song, and they have a chance to do their art, and get paid a little bit of money for it. So I think I even talked to you at one point about taking film of dogs or pets at home. I was going to use that for my I Got Water video, but we never finished connecting on that, Ethan. But it's all right.
Yeah.
Life is what life is. I reach out to a lot of people, and then eventually some follow through. Others are busy or with your own lives. But I Got Water, you can check out the video for I Got Water on YouTube. It's got like 50 or 60,000 views, and on Vivo, it's also on Vivo, has over 100,000 views. Spotify doesn't have many streams, but I'm not a very well-known, artist yet. But I think you should check it out. My Smiley Mikey channel. I think you'd like it, Ethan.
Yeah, I definitely need to follow you back. I saw that you subscribed to me after I asked you to do the the podcast, so I need to subscribe back.
I need to buy some of your merch, man. Do you have an Etsy store? How do you buy the Yonaha store?
It's Yonaha.net. It's connected through Printful. And
yeah, good.
So, I noticed that their quality is just amazing. And they give me really cool privileges. Like, I can create discounts. I can give you free shipping. So,
I use them too, but it's connected to an Etsy store, my Printful.
Yeah.
But a designer like you got your hoodies you can design. And you've got your T-shirts. What else do you got on your in your?
Just sweatshirts, T-shirts, hoodies, and I have one hat that's embroidered. But I'm actually looking into finding a manufacturer to design kimonos.
Oh my God! So you're heavily into your Japanese heritage, that side of you.
Yeah, Okinawa, but yeah.
Oh, Okinawa. I'm sorry. Okinawans probably are Okinawans, right?
Yeah. No,
Number one.
Yeah, I'm not the best representation for the people of Okinawa, but I definitely want to spread the awareness. That's the purpose of my new collection, actually, which I'll probably send you pictures of later. But the Erased Collection is a group of icons that are like abstracted, but they're all symbolic and traditional to Okinawan culture. One is a guy playing the sanshin, which is the 3-stringed instrument. Not to be mistaken with the shamisen, which is the much larger version of almost the same thing. There's a woman wearing the hanagasa hat, which is a festive hat that you would perform at the Shuri Castle in Okinawa with. One is just 2 kids from Okinawa, and then the last one was a shisa, but it's like broken. And the purpose is that through the last couple hundred years, Okinawa's heritage, history, culture has been forcefully erased by surrounding nations, and it's about the resilience of the people and how they still have their traditions and they still carry their language and their history and all that through the worst odds.
Fantastic. That's great. Do you speak that language at all or understand it at least?
I wish. My grandmother did not teach any of her children. Plus, she's a product of what I made the collection about. She grew up calling herself Japanese because of the way that Japan had a strong grip on them. Their schools couldn't teach them their native language. They couldn't learn their own history. Their libraries were burned.
Oh, I get it. It's a very old story that happens to a lot of indigenous cultures around the world by the dominant power in the region.
Yeah.
But you know what? In the end, it doesn't work because there's always younger people who go, wait a second, I want my roots and heritage. And it's a rediscovery process.
Yeah.
Is it very different? How different is Okinawa from mainland Japan culture-wise, like linguistically and everything?
Let's say compare Hawaii to mainland America.
Oh my God, is that different?
Yeah, there's the only similarities initially was that their language was an archaic Chinese Japanese
Hybrid.
hybrid, which is why they are able to communicate. But now they for the most part speak modern Japanese, like. But there's also the issue with military bases from the United States being there. They were used as meat shields during World War II. That's why that major battle happened in Okinawa and not in Japan. Um, I'm very happy that I mean, this is gonna sound really dark, but at least Okinawa wasn't the target for the major
I get
attacks
it.
from the United
I get
States.
it.
It's terrible
Yeah.
that those happen in general, and I have no hate for Japan today. It's bad history. Every country has bad history. I mean, we're Americans, and we're capable of admitting that we've committed major atrocities. It's not about repressing what happened in the past. It's about moving forward and being better. This particular design, the translation is the Japanese economic miracle. Following World War II, the explosion of cars and computers and businesses was a miracle for Japan. They call it the economic miracle. So I put the Toyota MR2 because who doesn't love 80s Japanese cars?
I do. Miatas.
Yeah,
Miatas.
yeah. So yeah, I try to mix a lot of meaning into my designs. I don't just throw icons onto stuff and launch them and hope that people buy them. A lot of my designs are Japanese. I designed a geisha one and others that are like a kaiju one because I grew up watching all the Godzilla movies. And this is before I even had the conception that I was a Japanese or Okinawan descent. I just loved Japanese stuff, and that's probably. And my grandma doesn't even like those things. She doesn't like Godzilla.
Well, she doesn't probably understand anime
uh,
either.
yeah, she actually watches a lot of stuff like Caillou and Peppa Pig, which I'm sure for a person who hardly speaks English is very entertaining.
Okay. Interesting. Japanese culture has a huge influence on America and the world. I'm old enough to remember there was a song in the 1980s called "I Think I'm Turning Japanese. I think I'm turning Japanese. I really think so," because it was everywhere you looked. It was sushi. It was Sony. It was everything was just that was like the lead culture. Uh, Karaoke, everything,
Yeah,
it's like one person I knew once said the Japanese, I know it's different from Okinawa. They say the Japanese are sharp and twisted like corkscrews, like wine, and that's kind of an interesting way of looking at it. Just just sharp and twisted, just completely different, but uh,
yeah.
sharp.
Well, yeah, if you look at the cycle of things, it's like the World War II aftermath created the economic miracle. The economic miracle influenced United States economics, and that's just kind of how consumerism works. But
Yeah,
in
it
the
is.
80s, it was way more niche than it is now. Like a lot of popular anime and like movies and stuff from Japan were really hard to find, and dedicated fans would scour markets and stuff all over the place for DVD copies of certain movies and shows. And now you could stream it anywhere, and it's like most people don't even pay to stream it; they pirate it, and it's like the older fans of things like, let's say, Neon Genesis Evangelion. That anime is like 20 something episodes, and people in the 90s and early 2000s would spend hundreds of dollars if they could find a DVD set of that. Now you can watch it on Netflix in English and Japanese.
Yeah, it is fascinating. I will say American culture has influenced Japan and the rest of the world. It's symbiotic. It goes back and forth. Just to give an example, you know, well, you remember the movie Spinal Tap? Your generation knows everything about pop culture, any decade. And if you don't know, you find it in 10 seconds. So you know Spinal Tap, that movie is called a mockumentary, a fake rock and roll documentary of a fake band called Spinal Tap. You heard of that, right?
I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it. Yeah.
Okay, so it's just a heavy metal band from England. That's the most cliche one ever. They called it, we are the loudest band in England. They call them Spinal Tap, and the German umlauts, those two dots, are not over the I, they're over the N, just to show how stupid they are. But in the end of the movie, their career's dead. And then all of a sudden, their album breaks big in Japan. Their career's resurrected, and the final scenes show them they're in Japan, and there's crazed audiences who just love Spinal Tap discover them. Well, that's not just in fake Hollywood fiction. I mean, there's a band from the 80s that got really big in the 80s called, now what was her name? David Coverdale. It was the lead singer. He used to be in Deep Purple. What is the name of the band? They did this
I'll
song
look it
called Here I Go Again. And I can't believe I can't think of it right now because I'm that tired. But
White Snake.
White Snake. So White Snake, they're a band. They were known as an 80s hair band because there's all these bands in the 80s with long hair, like Guns N' Roses and Quiet Riot and Def Leppard. And White Snake was one of them. And they had a huge hit called Here We Go Again, but they had fans all over the world. Then that was the 80s. They died out. You know, all the band members counted their millions of dollars, married their wives half their age, and all those things. But recently, they did a remastering of their entire collection. And guess what? It was #1 in Japan on the rock chart, and their careers, boom. So the Japanese culture, even though you have, historically, you understand the bitterness, you have the Okinawan mindset about that. But you also have a healthy mindset, like that was the past. How do we move forward? Let's acknowledge what happened. Let's be better in the present and future. And let's resurrect the Okinawan culture and give it love, which is what you're doing with Yonaha. And I'm kind of, but anyway, I guess my point is cultures do influence each other tremendously. That's the best of the interplay of cultures in the world and peoples in the world, and music and art brings us together. The other side of it is when people get in their little in groups, our country versus your country, which is the other side of human nature, which is the nasty side that we can never seem to get beyond. History repeating itself in violence and war, which is why I wrote that song called Peace with This World, that one of the 4 songs I'm having come out. What does Yonaha mean? Is that Okinawan or Japanese?
It's Okinawan. It's actually my grandma's maiden name. And it's also the name of a mountain which overcasts my website when you type in Yonaha on Google. Which I'm
Yonaha.net, right?
Yeah. I'm not necessarily upset that the landmark shows up first. I just hope people can find my stuff if they're looking for it. But yeah.
Well,
I've been.
When you blow up, they will. When you start blowing up, your fans will find you. You just got to keep working hard, young man.
Yeah. Okay. Just for because this is gonna happen inevitably. The meeting seems to be closing itself in about 8 minutes.
Gotcha.
And it's gonna happen abruptly. So here's 2 options: we wait for that to happen and we start another one, or we end it like planned and then we open a new one and then we start recording again.
I'm up for anything you want to do. We've got till 11, so if we do that, let's make this its very own episode and then start afresh on the next one, part 2. This is part 1 of the Smiley Mikey interview with Ethan. How's that?
Yeah.
And then we'll do. I'm good for that if you are. I'll do that.
Yeah, we could do that because then we got 2 half-hour parts.
We can. Is there any way I could screenshot? I don't even know how to screen share because I'm that old. But I do have my videos. I do have my songs, my music. I could hit play. I don't know how that would.
Oh, don't worry. I'm gonna download some of your stuff and I'm gonna play clips of it at the beginning.
Oh, good. That's great. Do you need me to send you any links, or yes or no?
No, I could. I'll pick and choose what I think are highlights and throw them in. Yeah,
that's fine.
Because I saw some of your stuff recently. Well, I've been seeing it consistently, but some of the recent stuff blew my mind, like the animated one. And there was another video. I don't remember what song it was for, but the cinematography and the effects, I was just like, whoa.
That may be I Got Water. It could be that
I think it was that, but the production value on that was kind of crazy.
Thank you. Yeah, it was. I mean, the thing is, a lot of it was shot only on my iPhone, but the key was in the editing.
Yeah.
The editing of it, because I had probably 10 times as much material or 20 times That's what ended up in there. I organized it, and the editing thing. It took me forever to organize the clips and put them in sequence, and then say, here's different options, and then all that great stuff that never even makes it in. You kill your darling, so to speak.
I mean,
So
I'm not
yeah.
picky about what you record on because personally, my iPhone camera is better than this. And
yeah, isn't that crazy how that is?
Yeah, and it's like I record most of my videos with this, and I'm always out of focus. It goes in and out. The ISO adjusts randomly, and I'm too dark. I'm too bright. It's driving me crazy. I'm like, I might as well figure out how to use my phone as my camera because it's better.
There you go. And there's a really good app that I was told about that I'm using for one of my latest videos. You probably know it. But it can record in whatever you want, not just 4K, but it can even do 24 frames a second. So it's like, a regular movie. Yeah, it's called Pro Movie. Have you heard of Pro Movie?
I haven't, but my main issue is getting footage from my phone to my computer.
I see.
I tried plugging it in with the USB and then trusting the device and whatnot. I couldn't access my camera roll.
Ooh, do you have a Mac?
I have a PC, but I was told that I might have to use iTunes to do it. So
it's possible. I mean, I'm a Mac guy for whatever good or bad that is. So I have not had that issue, but I think that may be with your thing. That may be what's happening with your iPhone. They want you to use yet one more Apple product because that's how Apple rolls.
I do have a Mac laptop. It's just not nearly as powerful as my beefy computer that I built for animation and stuff.
Oh, gotcha. Well, you see, they're trying to subtly or unsubtly push you to buy a Mac and make Apple even richer is probably what they're trying to do.
Yeah, no, their whole EU controversy is kind of hilarious to me because it's like one side's like, we're gonna make your phones illegal if you don't adapt to the charging cord that we all have, the Type C, and whatever the CEO's name, Tim Cook. He was like, I have a better solution. How about everybody just buys an iPhone? And I'm like, we're at like that post-apocalyptic level of capitalism where like the solution is to consume more. Monopoly only.
Right? I mean, that's capitalism. That's the predatory nature of capitalism. And just remember, we are only two things now. We're consumers and we're data. That's what we are.
Yeah.